Hey, it's Frank Torelli, and I just wanted to let you know I managed to do it again. I managed to spend even more money on this 100-year-old antique Winchester 1906. Thought I was done with it, thought I was going to put it in the closet, take it out from time to time, shoot it, and have a little fun with it. But no, I had to come across this accessory. It's what they call a Tang Sight. It's got a peephole that adjusts up or down, and it folds when not in use, and it pops up when you want to use it, and it mounts to the tang of the trigger guard assembly. And I guess back in its day this was pretty high-tech little device before the use of optical zoom scopes like we have today. And it's got a little peephole, like I said, that can adjust up and down, which allows you to pinpoint your target, maybe go for longer range targets as well. So it's rather minty looking, and I thought it would really look cool on this old Winchester. But when I received it, I noticed the screws were a little boogered up. So I happened to have a spare trigger housing assembly, and sure enough, I wasn't able to screw it inside the threads. So I had to research and figure out what the thread size was of this screw. It turns out it's a 1036, that's the size. Number 10, 36 threads per inch. So I was able to buy a die, relatively inexpensive, maybe 10 bucks, and go through the process of screwing this in. And I just put it in a pair of channel locks, and I used a screwdriver and slowly worked it in, forward, back, use some cutting fluid. The only disadvantage of doing that is when the threads are smushed together and you run it through a die, you're actually cutting and removing material. So when I got done, I didn't really even like the way the threads looked, because the percent of thread is just not what it was if it was new. But now, after I ran it through the die, I was able to screw it into the lower receiver, trigger housing assembly, if you want to call it that. So anyway, it's a really simple install now that I got the threads worked out. Basically, you just remove this screw from the tang. The new screw is a little longer because the tang sight sits on top, and the new screw now has a slightly longer thread to accommodate for the additional height of the flange of the tang sight. And there's a replacement screw for the lower, and then it came with a short screw for the upper. Now mind you, this particular tang sight and these screws are probably also 100 years old, but really, really good shape. I think having that tang sight out there really gives it an authentic, vintage, classic look, and I just couldn't help myself. I just had to spend more money. I hope my wife is not watching this video, because I told her it's just cheap, just a few dollars. Nothing on this old rifle is just a few dollars, except maybe a screw, and that also comes with $5 worth of shipping. But this has really, really turned out to be a really excellent shooter. The rifling in the barrel is in pretty good condition. The cycling of the action is great. You can separate the buttstock from the receiver. They call that a takedown model. There's one little thumb screw that allows you to do that. It's by no means a mint condition rifle, but considering I pieced it together from whatever parts I could find, it just functions beautiful. It's just a great utility gun. Shoots wonderful. And now I have this peep sight on here, so I can really go for some long range targets, hopefully. So once I get dialed in, I'm going to go outside and shoot it, and I think I'm going to enjoy it quite a bit. Alrighty, well, that was fun. Thanks for joining this episode of Watch Frank Spend Money That He Doesn't Have. Thank you.